So, in a few months, I'll have been coming to Old South for a full 20 years. So, it seems like a good time to reflect on my 2-decade experience here, to think about what keeps me coming back. Over the years, I've served in a number of roles, such as co-leading and then leading Outreach, Justice, and Witness. Later, I was the moderator. Most recently, I'm the moderator of our regional association. But what I especially remember is my first service to this church. I'd been attending for about 9 months, been a member for maybe 3, when I got an evening phone call from Dick Morton, a former moderator who'd become a member of the nominating committee. He said some people had been talking and thought I'd be a good deacon. So would I agree to do that? I'm not sure just what I said in reply. It was probably something to the effect of, oh, thanks, yeah, I'll think about that, I'll get back to you. But I recall very well what I thought at that moment, which is, why would anyone want me to be a deacon? It's not just that I was new to the church, it's that until the previous year, I'd spent a quarter century being a fairly vehement atheist. Didn't Old South want to choose someone a bit less likely to draw God's thunderbolts? I mean, after all, the building insurance policy presumably doesn't cover acts of God, so it seemed risky. But in the end, I said yes. Now at that point, I did not know what a deacon actually does. I just had a vague sense that deacons are supposed to be sort of important church members who are good Christians. So I concluded I needed to take this seriously. If I was going to do this job, I needed to try to live up to that, however imperfectly. And today I can report that I succeeded. I have been a good Christian very, very imperfectly over the years. But to be honest, while I could wax enthusiastic this morning about our ministries here or about our church community, that's you, what hits home to me is that I genuinely think I'm a somewhat better person now than I was then. That even my flawed attempts to live the gospel and focus on things bigger than myself have elevated me. For example, I'm somewhat more patient and tolerant than I was back then. Now, sometimes that's played out at work, such as when I was an administrator for a few years, and to my great surprise, I found I didn't mind when people would come in and interrupt what I was doing to share their concerns, because that was something I was absolutely terrible at in the past. Don't interrupt me. Or sometimes it's played out here. Patience, I learned during Bible study that if you stop talking for 3 milliseconds, that is not my cue to jump in and start talking. Or, tolerance. Now and again, once in a while, we disagree with each other. And so I've learned tolerance. Sometimes I've thought that our weekly welcome needs a footnote added. No matter who you are, or where you are on life's journey, asterisk, or however incomprehensible your attitudes are, you are welcome here, And you've tolerated me too, because I may have had an incomprehensible attitude or 7 over the years. So, tolerance, patience, but not only that, I think coming here has made me on the whole a happier person. So when I look back on past successes at work, college course developed, a grant awarded, a research paper published. Oh, great, but I noticed that it no longer resonates with me, that if it wasn't fairly recent, it's just sort of a distant memory with no emotion attached. Oh yeah, that. But being part of this community and growing with you and remembering the things we've done for each other and for the wider community, that doesn't get old, I find. That doesn't fade. It always feels meaningful. It always feels like something I can relish for years to come. Therefore, We need to keep this community going so we can continue to bless each other and bless Farmington and bless the members who haven't yet joined, who perhaps haven't yet been born. It takes a lot to keep a vibrant faith community going, and part of that is, money. So I'm going to pledge again this year, partly because I feel that my pledges have benefited the community, but partly because I feel they've benefited me. I hope you feel the same, and I hope you'll consider being generous to this wonderful congregation.